Yo guys, today we're investigating about the fact that is the World Cup actually authentic or something that's fake as fuck or orchestrated. Like, I've been diving into this rabbit hole since yesterday and it's actually blown my mind. But I'm still skeptical. Like, let's just investigate it and I'll show you what you mean by is the World Cup actually scripted.
Ce livre pour enfants, sorti le 2 juin, prédisait déjà la finale Argentine-Espagne. Et Yamal avait posté juste avant le début de la Coupe du Monde les 2 maillots, qui forment le nombre 19. Oui, le football est scripté, mais c'est bien pire que ça. Messi est né le jour d'anniversaire de la franc-maçonnerie moderne, qui a créé le football. Il y a 19 ans, il donnait le bain à Yamal, le jeune initié, mis à nu, sous le regard du maître. Un rituel d'initiation classique. Messi, c'est le roi établi, et ses initiales forment Lamine, le successeur. Leurs anniversaires sont séparés de 19 jours, et les deux ont porté le numéro 19 en début de carrière. Dans le tarot, le 19, c'est le soleil, présent sur le drapeau argentin. C'est aussi l'enfant sur le cheval blanc, le cheval de l'Apocalypse 19. Messi est aussi né le même jour que Jean le Baptiste, celui qui baptise Jésus. Mais au lieu de l'agneau ici, on a la chèvre, parce que notre monde est inversé. Le faux Messi fête son anniversaire pendant le séisme au Venezuela, pays du vin rouge, annoncé sur la couverture de l'Économiste. Et David Beckham boit un verre de vin rouge au même moment, symbole du sacrifice de masse. Tout est inversé. Le sauveur devient une idole du spectacle, et le mal est glorifié, en direct. Chanté par des foules en transe, sur des sons de Burn a Boy. Donc le foot, c'est le temple moderne des rituels païens. Et le nom de famille du président...
Yeah, I like this dude. Sometimes it's actually reaching. Like, you can find inferences of anything. If you can actually connect them and find inferences and make a conspiracy theory out of anything. Like, this is what I think. This, like, sometimes like this dude did actually give some positive information, but sometimes this dude is actually kind of reaching. Like, the reason why I say like I have a hard time believing it's actually scripted. Like, well, last night's final, it was the most boring fucking match I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like, I've almost half fell asleep. Like if you scripting something or orchestrating something, you actually have to make something interesting. Like, and even like, this picture of this Messi giving back to Yamal, that's an initiation ritual. It's kind of crazy also, but it's kind of like a funny coincidence or like fateful coincidence. But it, like, I don't believe in like fateful coincidence that much. It may have some ulterior meaning to it, but Yamal didn't score any goals. Like, we didn't get the fact like he's some kind of like the Nets idol or the Nets superstar or the Nets passing on the ritual. We didn't get that like feel from the last Nets World Cup. So that's why I hard time believing it's actually scripted. Like, why would they script the most boring fucking match ever? Like, this last Nets match was so boring. Like, so for something to happen, it has to take the overtime. Like, yeah, that's why I don't believe like it's actually scripted whatsoever.
de la FIFA est Infantino, l'enfant. Regardez cette affiche officielle de Justin Bieber pour le show de la finale. Il tient un bébé.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, they're trying to push some agenda through sports, and that's conduit they actually use. Like that, the Olympics, they actually push the desecration of the Last Supper. Like, elites always do this kind of agenda, like to push through in the opening ceremonies and the closing ceremonies itself, push through some kind of like a demonic agenda, and using the cabal or actress who's actually initiated into this class. But I don't believe the game itself is actually kind of scripted. Like,
la tête en bas, comme un trophée inversé, parce que l'enfant est une offrande pour la plus grande messe mondiale, le 19 juillet.
we have much more to talk about. Like, like, this is a funny AI video, so.
Veo que creciste mucho. Entonces, ¿quieres esto?
Sí.
Yeah. So let's we also want to talk about the remote control ball itself. There's a lot of claims. It's actually a remote control ball. And I'm gonna see a fake mistake. Crush the legs of a player named Isa. This is an Arabic, everything symbolic. Like, this is actually kind of reaching. Like, you can actually find any inference by actually reaching. Like, this is what I'm talking about. The fake ball. The ball that's moving its own. Is this AI? Is it what is even real? Like, I need you guys to confirm it's actually real. Bro, no way this is actually real, bro. Like,
El balón del Mundial de 2026 marca un antes y un después en el fútbol profesional por su avance tecnológico. Desarrollado por Adidas, este esférico cuenta con la tecnología Connected Ball, un sistema que requiere ser cargado mediante inducción magnética antes de cada partido. De forma similar a un smartphone. En su interior lleva un sensor que registra datos 500 veces por segundo.
they all in on it. They actually know this is actually like a remote control ball. Mbappe knows there's something fishy, like. Okay, let's just get into the,
Been created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this
You are about to become part of it, whether you like it or not.
is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. The 2026 World Cup has taken place and the final game is about to occur. Now, whether you're a soccer fan or not, this video is very important and I will go as quickly as I can to get all of this information out to you. This is in regards to this being a massive Freemasonic ritual, as are most
Are they insinuating this to be like a ghost club? Like, give the masses bread and circus, they'll never walk. Like, give the masses like constant entertainment, like they will never like raise a foot against the deception or the fuckery the government's actually doing to them. Like, is that the fact?
of the things that we see in our day-to-day life. And this is one of those actual things that has gone mainstream. So it's important to pay attention to it, whether you like soccer or not. I personally do not like soccer. I've never played soccer, but I'm willing to cover this to show people out there the connections to Freemasonry and the imagery that you're seeing in the mainstream that they're trying to tell you is coincidental, when in fact it is truly a massive revealing that is taking place, where people's eyes are being opened to Freemasonry and the occult and just how widespread it really is. So for those of you that don't know, the World Cup final is taking place between Argentina and Spain. And the two people you see on the screen are two of the most famous soccer players in the world. That is Messi, and the other guy goes by the name of Yamal. I'm giving you their last names. The World Cup is being played on July 19, 2026 between these two teams. And there is a history between these two players. And the history isn't that, hey, they grew up with one another, they knew one another, and what a coincidence that somehow they turned into the greatest soccer players in the world, and they happen to be playing each other in the World Cup. The signs and symbols always reveal themselves, including the one that's gone viral.
Yeah, this is actually kind of crazy. People can actually say it's some kind of fateful like encounter, but this makes it some kind of fishy. Like,
which I'll get into momentarily, where this guy Messi was giving a bath in a photo shoot. Of course, you know the symbolism of the
yeah, we all know the bathing ritual significance. This is crazy.
bath and the bathtub to Freemasonry and the occult, as I've always covered, about 19 years ago. And of course, they both are known for wearing the number 19, and 19 is very symbolic in this ceremonial ritual. But let's just start with Messi. Let's start with the basics, the easy things for people to see, right? The all-seeing eye tattoo right on his inner bicep. This is very common, right? We see this, but most people don't notice these things. Most people don't ask the question of why do these
Well, that doesn't actually prove anything. Like, a lot of people have an eye and doesn't even actually know it's like a eye of providence and all-seeing eye. Like, a lot of people can get an eye.
people have eyeballs tattooed on their bodies? Why are these people always holding up their hands over their eyes? Of course, there's an eyeball on the back of the dollar bill that most people don't know. This is the all-seeing eye of Lucifer, the forbidden knowledge. It is a very symbolic symbol in the occult, and you can
Bro, that's a reach. That's just because you have an eye tattooed on your body doesn't mean you have the all-seeing eye or the eye of providence. So
See it clearly tattooed on
and
his
this means like associated with Lucifer.
arm. You could see him doing things like this, holding up a shoe over his eye, doing the all-seeing eye symbolism. Again, a lot of these celebrities will do things like holding up objects over their eyes, whether it's their hand over their eyes or a shoe over their eyes, or even things like this. He's holding up directly over his eyes. This is showing you with the one eye symbolism that this man is indoctrinated and initiated in the occult, in Freemasonry and secret societies, as all of these celebrities and athletes are. They serve a purpose in social engineering and social grooming, as well as distracting you, as I'll get into later in the
Yeah, but it can also be like given a prompt or given like a photo shoot idea to do like by someone else. Like that doesn't mean that someone else is indoctrinated.
video from the real issues that are taking place right in front of our eyes and using
I'm just playing the devil's advocate and actually analyzing if this hit what all these claims are actually true or not.
sports as a bread and circumstances, so to speak, to keep you distracted from the actual wicked things that they're doing to all of us through all the technology, all of the frequencies that they use on us to cause depression, all of the chemtrailing that they
That is 100% true.
do, all of the poisoning of our food, all the stuff you saw with COVID-19, which I'll get into as well. So you see the all-seeing eye symbolism. Again, here he is doing it. What is this, just a commercial for a watch? He's got an eyeball tattooed on his arm, and he always is holding up one hand or something over one of his eyes whenever he's photographed, right? We see the same thing.
This is the same thing a lot of celebrities actually do covering up with one eye, propagate the all-seeing eye, but it can also insinuate that someone else actually told them to take that post in order to propagate some shit, and these celebrities and actors are so naive they don't even know what the fuck's actually going on. That can also be the case.
With all of these celebrities, right? When you see it, your brain starts saying, okay, wait a minute, there's something to this, right? Because if you're going to pick up a magazine and see a picture of Bono holding up a hand over your eye, you're not going to think much of it. You say, oh, there's Bono, and there he is, and maybe he's got a booger in his eye, or he's itching his eye. Look at all these celebrities doing it, okay? It's a gang sign. That's how the occult operates, through signs and symbols right in front of our faces. You see Messi doing it over and over.
That is true.
Over and over, there's repetition of that. And here's a repetition of all these celebrities and these collages who constantly do it. You'll see every single celebrity doing the all-seeing eye symbolism at one point or another. Remember, repetition is the key to mind control, but it's also the key to unlocking your mind. When you see patterns and you see things like this image on your screen, there's no denying that there's something to it, that they're all doing it. And I've used the comparison to gangs. If you see a gang member holding up a gang sign, you say, oh, that's a gang member. He's signaling to another gang member. Well, that's exactly what these people are. Just the difference is that your politicians, your celebrities, your CEOs, all of these people who are, you're told, have gotten to the positions that they're in through hard work and quote unquote sacrifice. And the real truth of the matter is they have gotten there via sacrifice, human sacrifice. So we go from there and we see
That's kind of like good way to put it. Like they got it through the human sacrifice. Like, and a lot of people, like politicians, a lot of actors, are actually propped up industrial plans. They didn't actually get it through like real hard work. Someone actually handed it to them, and these people are put in positions of power. They didn't actually even earn that shit. Like they're deliberately put in positions of power, and all the monetary benefits are like astroturf. Everything about them is astroturf, and everything about them is fake. And most of them are industrial plans.
Doing this, of course, this is another common universal symbol we see in the occult. I'm just trying to give you a background on these two players before I get into their ritual ceremony here and their blood oath baptism.
Yeah, that's why Ronaldo's the GOAT. He would never do some shit like this. He would never do kiss the wall. He will never do some shit like this, bro.
And their actual bath baptism that they show you, but you can see this right? This is the vow of silence. This is why you always see celebrities taking this picture as well as the all-seeing eye imagery as well, holding up a finger over there. What do they all have a big? They all just say shh. Well, the guy goes, "I'm going to take a picture of you for Vogue or for GQ." And all these people who you could tell are witches or know are witches, like David Bowie or Madonna, they're all like, yeah, shh, what's the big secret? They broke wind? Well, I'm sure they do. Is it a big secret that they smell like sulfur? Well, it's no secret, actually. The secret is that they're all initiated in the occult, and you're not. And that's why people like Rihanna even have it tattooed on their finger. And that's why Lindsay Lohan has it tattooed on her finger, or his finger, if you want to go down that hole, as well as most of these celebrities are, in fact, inversions of themselves. And there's lots of reasons for that, including getting you attracted to the opposite sex without even realizing that you're attracted to the opposite sex, because you're told that some of these women in Hollywood are women when in fact they are actually men. You see Lady Gaga do it, even holding up the 666 over its eye. Look at all the celebrities. I mean, you can name any celebrity. They're doing the all-seeing eye.
They know exactly what they're doing, but sometimes like they can be told what to do, like what kind of post to make. Maybe I'm just reaching, like,
or Swift, and
maybe
Beyonce.
Maybe I'm just coping.
I've covered them all over the years. In fact, look at all these soccer players doing the same exact thing. Now, this is not a soccer symbol. What does this have to do with anything? Are they silencing the crowd? Well, not in front of a green screen. You see all these pictures are taken in front. These are all staged photographs, but they're all clearly doing it, right? These are all initiates in Freemasonry, and that's the big scam here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's gonna be like
the Freemason vow.
Can be like a shush, like I would see something more than you. So shush, shut the fuck up. Like, can also be like that. Maybe I'm coping. Maybe I'm reaching. Like, maybe it's actually some kind of something sinister is actually going on.
Of silence, the finger over the lip. That is why they do it. So we see Messi doing the all-seeing eye symbols. And let me take a look at the other guy, Yamal. Look at him. Here he is, 2031. This is a strategic photograph. They do not just do this by accident. You'll see it in a lot of movie posters where the symbolism is one eye on the movie poster or one eye in the magazine ad. And here he is doing
That's just reaching. Like, they do that for like an effect. Like, they didn't do it for like some kind of sinister reason. That is actually pure reaching, bro.
all-seeing eye symbols. In fact, This is his catchphrase type thing, right? This is his thing that he's known for when he scores goals or does something on the soccer field. Do you notice his hand? Not only making the X, the Osiris Risen symbolism, which is very prominent in the occult, as well as in soccer. You see many soccer players, goalies, etc., making the X symbol. They're telling you, oh, it's just a symbol that a goalie's supposed to put his arms across his chest. Meanwhile, isn't a goalie's job to block the ball? So really, he wouldn't really have his hands in an X symbol over his chest. It's the Osiris Risen symbol. And you can see him doing it here with the 666 hand sign. See it? Over and over and over again, right there.
Bro, that may be kind of reaching. Like, maybe something creative actually come up with. Someone actually found that you can find inferences in actually anything. Like, make a conspiracy theory out of it. Like, you can find anything, make a conspiracy theory out of it. Like,
out in the open, the 666 hand sign. Most people out there don't even realize what it is. They see it. Is he making a three-pointer? I mean, this is the excuse we get that people make. They're doing the AOK sign. Donald Trump's just doing the MAGA sign, right? They're doing the 666 hand symbolism out in the open and getting away with it. You see all these celebrities who like to get cute with the 666 hand sign, doing it over their all-seeing eye as well. Guys like Johnny Depp, who I've exposed many times. Many people are aware Johnny Depp is in the occult, and if you're not, well, you need to wake up. Even his connection to the West Memphis 3, as I've talked about now, Aleister Crowley and the blood lineage. Bono, the 666 hand sign. Again, many of these celebrities just do it over and over and over again. Justin Bieber, who I'll touch on momentarily. I mean, what are they all, just John Cena fans? Right? John Cena, one of the funniest ones of all. He's the one who has most normalized this symbol up until the MAGA started doing it. You would see kids getting indoctrinated with this, kids looking up to John Cena, the wrestler. John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena's 100% in a humiliation ritual. Remember the time he had to like walk in some stage wearing nothing? Like, he said he's 100% initiated. He has to do some humiliation ritual.
No, he's holding up this sign telling you it means hustle, loyalty, respect. It is a 666 hand sign. So is that what he is?
Yeah, he walked in naked on a stage. Like, what's up with that? That's a humiliation ritual.
This huge John Cena fans. I love pro wrestling. This guy Yamal, right? And of course, if you want to think about how creepy, how disturbed all these people are who are indoctrinated in Freemasonry and the occult, think no further than John Cena. He's one of the most disturbing ones. Now he's a big famous actor, no talent whatsoever, went from being a wrestler into a movie star. And of course, one of the more bizarre things that he's most known for is going to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which again is a protective layer they put out there by saying, look, John Cena does all these charitable things. How dare you call him a Satanist or an occultist? He's always making wishes come true for children, right? Well, it's very bizarre that John Cena is I believe he's #1 all time and granting the most wishes to young little children by visiting them in hospitals or doing things with them on a day-to-day basis. Yet John Cena is also most known for being a guy who does not like children, who will not have children. Yet he's always
that's crazy. Like,
around children. You would think if you didn't want kids, one of the reasons you wouldn't want kids is you don't really like kids. You see other people's kids, you're like, I don't want to be around kids. Kids are bratty. Kids are a lot to do. Well, he spends all his free time with other people's children, right? Just like the Shriners do in the Shriner Hospital. Same exact thing in Freemasonry, right? All up front. Oh, the Shriners, they love children. They do these things in the children's hospital. But these conspiracy theorists are saying that they're pedos and they're involved in trafficking rings. Look, but they're doing that, right? Well, it's a front. It's a cover. It's a very elaborate scheme that they're running here, right? Pretending to be charitable, pretending to care about children, when in fact they're the ones who are involved in the trafficking and everything else. So this is the big picture. This is the big story. It's gone viral. It's being talked about in the mainstream media, right? This is Messi bathing that person, Yamal, who I just showed you, who they're playing in the World Cup. Okay, this is a picture from 19 years ago. Keep in mind, both players wore the number 19, and they're playing on the date of July the 19th. But here he is bathing him.
That's crazy. Like, you can actually say that's a kind of a coincidence, but something has really, like, that's fishy. Like, that raises my eye a little bit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you can call it fateful coincidence, bro.
You might say, what is the connection here? Well, there isn't a real connection. They're telling you that this is a coincidental photo. That Yamal's family was in some type of a raffle so that they could take a picture with Messi. And then they didn't think it was creepy at all back in 2007 to have a nude child in a bathtub and a guy he doesn't even know who just kicks a soccer ball around to be scrubbing him in the bathtub.
Yeah, that's not a coincidence. Something's actually going on. This makes me believe like some kind of sinister thing actually going on. You can never call that a fateful coincidence.
Even have his hand reach down where you can't see where his hand is, and it looks pretty disturbing, which you might say, well, now it's a stretch, and I'll show you it's not a stretch, because in fact they reference this in a new commercial, which I'll show you, with little tie-ins to satanic ritual abuse and pedophilia and homosexuality. But this is the picture's gone viral. So people say, isn't it crazy that they're playing in the World Cup now? And 19 years ago, and they're playing on July 19th. These two people didn't know each other. There's no connection between the families. It was just a random photo shoot for a magazine. And Messi, this massive soccer star that they call the GOAT, which we'll get into as well, was giving this kid a bath. His hand is in a creepy position. And now they're playing in the World Cup, right? Nothing is rigged. Everything is fine, folks. Don't ask any questions. And here's the story. They played on CNN talking about it, saying, oh, it's about 20 years ago, because they don't want you to think about the number 19 and how symbolic it is as well. Here's the story about how this whole thing takes place. And remember, all these stories they give you, of course, are fictional, just like the news is fictional. It's to create in your mind a wall. It puts up a wall so that when you hear videos or see videos like this, you're already programmed from this CNN clip or other mainstream media clips, which is why they're covering it, telling you, oh, this is how it happened. It was organic. It's not a conspiracy. Sports aren't rigged. These aren't some Freemasonic rituals. Sure. Here's what
I don't believe 100% this is organic. I think this is 100% like something sinister is actually going on. Like, I don't believe in like fateful coincidence like that. That doesn't actually happen. Like,
telling you in the mainstream.
Two soccer legends, Lionel Messi and Lamine Yamal, are about to meet on the field for the very first time in the World Cup final, but they actually met nearly 20 years ago. And here's the proof. Back then, Messi was a 20-year-old rising star for Barcelona, while Yamal was just 5 months old, and nobody could possibly have known that such an innocent and fleeting moment would become one of soccer's most iconic photographs. The pictures were taken during a charity photo shoot for Barcelona and UNICEF by photographer Joan Montfort. He says he...
UNICEF? Yeah, I'm not buying that. I know I'm never buying anything like UNICEF or these guys promote.
Completely forgot about the photos until one phone call changed everything.
The newspaper Sport call me and say me, is this your picture? And he tell me the baby is Lamine Yamal. It's like you win the lottery or it's a possibility in 1 million possibility.
Yamal's father later shared the images on
Yeah, that doesn't happen. Like, that is not a coincidence.
line with the caption, the beginning of two legends, and the photos quickly went viral. Today, Messi is a World Cup champion and considered by many to be the greatest of all time. Yamal has become Barcelona's newest superstar, and
Exactly after 19 or 20 years, like, they're actually playing in the World Cup final. That's crazy.
one of football's brightest young talents with a string of records already to his name. Nearly 2 decades after their chance encounter, their narrative arcs will collide in the most extraordinary way. But this time, soccer's biggest prize, the World Cup, is on the line.
So you're supposed to believe that, okay? And for whatever reason, right, this is a 5-month-old baby. Well, no one's supposed to be creeped out that the parents were like, hey, we want to do a photo shoot with this guy who kicks a soccer ball. We want our kid to be completely naked in a bathtub, and then we want him reaching into the tub
Messi at that wasn't even like something big. Like, he wasn't that big. He was big, but he wasn't that big. So
under the water with his hand. So yeah, nothing strange about that at all, right? There's no pedo kind of symbolism to any of it, is there? Right? Him holding the baby. I mean, this is one of the biggest holes you'll ever see if you have common sense. If you use common sense logic and you look at this, you'll say, this is not normal. They don't know each other. This isn't like, oh, this is a cousin of a cousin. Oh, he grew up with the father of the kid. And no, this is a photo shoot for a public magazine. These aren't intimate pictures that somebody stole from these are public, okay, which shows you that this is an initiation and a ritual. And now, 19 years later,
yeah, now I'm believing the conspiracy shit.
the two of them are gloating this in front of your face as they're about to play in the biggest World Cup of all time, or one of them most viewed, at least. You can look at any year and say it's the biggest, and it's the biggest, it's the biggest. Well, the most viewed World Cup on U.S. soil. And here they are holding up a bathtub, joking around together. And of course, all this imagery that you're seeing, this is all from Freemasonry, right? Freemasonry, one in every town in America. If it's not in your town, it's in the town next year. There's thousands of lodges. You'll see signs on the highway. You'll never notice them because you're not trained to see signs and symbols. You're trained to believe in a false reality, which is what they get you with from a young age, which is why they want you in the school system at a young age, so they can beat in lies into your brain and you don't notice all the actual things that are really occurring around you. Because if you noticed it, you'd stop it
That is correct.
from continuing to happen. In these lodges, they tell you that these guys are meeting, that they're in a frat, don't worry about it. They graduated college and they wanted to continue doing keg stands with each other, so they joined Freemasonry. These are the guys in your town who are getting a lot of these things in that you might say are woke or non-woke or changing rules or trying to get digital IDs. On a township level, Freemasons have infiltrated all of our township politics, all of our township school boards, and this is worldwide. And this is one of the initiations is this ritual in a bathtub, right? This is not weird to anybody. Are you a Mason? Look, guy in the bathtub, the Masons around. This is a baptism in the occult, in Masonry, which is is the occult. It's a tentacle of the occult, right? And they have the goat standing at the bottom, okay? I mean, this is an initiation. Look at all these images, okay, of a bath. It's no different than Christians get baptized, right? Christians get baptized in water. We all have seen Christians get baptized in lakes and all that stuff. Well, they have a baptism. Now, usually theirs doesn't take place in water. It actually takes place in blood. They use blood and fecal matter. But of course, if you saw that in the imagery for Freemasonry, you probably say we should get there and arrest these people because they're clearly psychopaths. So of course, they just have a bathtub. And you're not supposed to think anything of it, but it is a ritual bath. And we see this all the time normalized without you paying attention to it, right? This famous picture of Eminem and his song about 3 a.m., which of course I covered in a video. It's available on the website called
That is true. Correct. Bathing rituals has been present in Masonic initiation rituals for like centuries.
uprising.com. 3 o'clock in the morning, ritual hour. Okay, it's an hour of human sacrifice at 3 o'clock in the morning. And in that,
Yeah. Messi like bats him all like a young age. Why bad? Like, you can actually take a photo with it. Like, why had to like bathe the child? Like, that is not a coincidence whatsoever.
in that video, here he is taking a bath in blood, having a satanic baptism. Machine Gun Kelly, who's supposed to be his sworn enemy in this fake, fictitious world of music in Hollywood where they pretend to have beefs with each other, right? Doing the same thing, right? No one even noticing they're doing the same things, have the same tattoos, right? Because they pretend to beef with each other. There is blood baptism for Machine Gun Kelly. Bathtubs constantly used. Again, Rihanna in her anti-diary video, which is all about the mark of the beast and the coming of the Antichrist and the transformation, which is already taking place with nanotechnology and everything else you see going on with frequencies. Taylor Swift, who plays the role of Sweetheart, America's Girl, right? Doing the Osiris risen symbolism in jewels in a bathtub. You've seen Tupac. A lot of these celebrities have taken and done famous photo shoots in the bathtub. Okay, see the tie-in to Freemasonry and the connection. Even Miley, the virus Cyrus, doing this with the Osiris risen in a bathtub filled with purple goo. Okay, this is an initiation. So this kid, Yamal, was chosen at a young age. And you might say, well, how can they choose a kid? How do they know he'd be good at soccer? Well, that's when you start getting into eugenics, which I'll talk about at the end of this video. But notice the goat as well.
Whoa, eugenics.
In Freemasonry, okay? Messi being told that he's the GOAT. Tom Brady, the GOAT. All these people are being called the GOAT. They've normalized the term GOAT to mean the greatest of all time. It's just their way of normalizing the GOAT in our society, bringing things out of the woods, as Taylor Swift once said, into the forefront. Witch is coming out of hiding. Satan is coming out of hiding. Normalizing the GOAT. GOAT yoga, all these things. Imagery with the GOAT, right? Look at here, he is posing with a GOAT. Nobody asking any questions, thinking twice about it, right? And then this was a famous ad released by Adidas, the goat and the kid. The goat, number 10, is supposed to represent Messi. Number 19, the kid, which is a baby goat, which I try to refrain from saying the word kid because it is a baby goat. It does tie into the occult.
Yeah, they're pushing this idea so hard. Like, that's crazy.
and using the term child or children. They want you to use the term kid, but it's something that's so ingrained in all of us. Even if you know these things, sometimes you slip and say kids or kid, but kid is a baby goat, right? So the goat and the kid. This is a reference to the two of them in an Adidas ad, okay? And again, the goat, as you see in Freemasonry, reference to the Baphomet. Now, the other thing to look at, okay, so I'm going to show you the commercial the imagery you just saw from the photo shoot of him as a baby to all the way now. Rituals and initiations in Freemasonry. We know there's humiliation rituals in Freemasonry. There's also homosexual rituals in Freemasonry. They are forced
that is
into
true.
doing rituals in front of one another. There's a blackmail method that they do. So if they're told that you're going to have sex with a man in front of everybody, and we'll use this against you and tell your wife and your kids, that way you never break the oath or the vow of secrecy that you take, because they take an oath to each other. And in that oath, they cannot break that oath. And if you break that oath, well, what happens to you is what happened to Mozart. Mozart broke the oath because he started gabbing at the lip every time he had some liquor. He was telling people, hey, this is what we're doing. I'm in this group, this Freemasonic group. My music is actually intertwined in Freemasonry. And we do all this creepy, weird
That's how Mozart died? Like, I thought he actually died of some illness.
stuff.
What?
And he said, he's telling everybody everything. Well, we're just going to have to whack him and tell everyone he had some mysterious death, and we're going to throw him in a grave, and no one's going to attend his funeral, right? That's what happened to Mozart. He's one of the rare ones that has come out and ratted out and broke his vow of silence, because that's the consequence if you break the vow of silence. So what they do is they go through humiliation rituals. And yes, we've seen ones at the Oscars where John Cena comes out nude.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like,
but there's real legitimate rituals that they do and acts that they have to commit. Ones that are so unimaginable that if you knew that they committed it, you'd see why they would never break their vow of silence. Some involving children, many involving men. These are Freemasonic rituals and initiations. The two of them are obviously connected with one another. And again, you can look at Messi and some of the stuff that they do in public. Remember, they do these rituals in secret.
yeah, why bait? Like, why bait the baby? Like, can I actually take the photo with the baby? Like, that's gonna cause me to become a little, like, conspiratorial about this all. Like, why bait the baby? Like, what the fuck? That's clearly a ritual. It's clearly a baiting ritual.
Ones that you would never know about, to hold the truths that they have with one another, to hold the vow of silence and secrecy with one another. But then they do stuff like this. This is Messi on a television show where you can see men grabbing his genitals, men bending him over in front of everybody. These are the public initiation rituals that they do, which show you that they're a part of the club.
No way, this is actually real. This is some humiliation ritual.
Yo hago el árbitro, yo soy el árbitro. Usted juega
Right, so that's supposed to be a skit on a comedy.
Yeah, that is 100% a humiliation ritual. And now I'm coming around. Like, this is 100% some kind of, he's 100% initiated into the ritual.
Show. Nobody would watch it. Like, this is really funny. Except the sick perverts who were involved in Freemasonry and these secret societies, who were watching them bend over Messi, bend him over, grab his crotch, right? Even
maybe it's actually, or Messi's actually a victim of this. Like, maybe he's actually that good at football. Maybe he's actually a victim of this.
Stuff like this in these games where you could see these men grabbing each other's rears. This isn't a butt slap. That's a straight up grab, ladies and gentlemen. And then from there, when you want to get creepy about all this stuff and the tie-ins,
no way, bro.
Pizzagate and grooming and what's really involved in secret societies and the occult, you can look at the halftime show for the World Cup this year, because guess who's playing it? It's Justin Bieber. But what you might be noticing on your screen is the image on the screen of Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber has been initiated. Like, have you seen the footage? Like, Justin Bieber, like, sucking someone else's dick. That's actually true. Like, he actually sucked someone else's dick. Like, and someone put a camera on it, and he actually wake up. Like, see, guys, if we can actually
holding a child over his head. This is the image that FIFA and the World Cup are
Let me check that footage. Actually, like, it says, like, Justin Bieber sucking someone else's dick.
Using for the halftime show. Justin Bieber shirtless, holding up a child upside down over his head, and you could even see.
Yeah, Justin Bieber has been abused and, like, initiated into some kind of Kabbalah ritual. Like, we all know that's actually true. Like, you actually see him breaking down every day. Like, they did something to this poor boy when he was famous. Like, they did something to him and initiated into some kind of ritual, and he's part of some Kabbalah right now.
Who's presenting it? Global Citizen, another organization I've covered. Global Citizen, that's what it's all about. Globalism. Okay, that's the end game here. New world order, one world government, one world
100%.
everything.
That's 100% true.
And so he's holding up a baby upside down over his head. Keep in mind, all this stuff I've shown you with Messi and Yamal and the bathtub and the being a baby and now being grown up and being back in the tub. And here's Bieber, which again I covered recently. This disturbing Pizzagate photo where he puts a slice of pizza over his child's face, very similar to all this.
Yeah. They had to make this obvious. Like, they had to make it obvious they are part of something. Like, and I don't know why they had to make something obvious to the public. Maybe some kind of like they want us to know what they're actually doing. They want us to know, like, if you're too stupid to even realize we're part of some order, we're part of some cabal. Like, if you're too stupid to realize it, we're gonna keep doing to you. Like, this is intentional. This is deliberate, and every fucking, like, initiate anyone who's famous politicians initiated into this Masonic ritual and craft. They had to actually show their allegiance in public. They had to actually show their allegiance. You can actually find this with Elon Musk. You can actually find it with any politician that from the WEF, World Economic Forum. You can actually find any of these guys, and they have to show to the public who their allegiance are to. Like, that's mandatory.
Stuff Ali Fontes posted where there was children unclothed, where he put a piece of pizza over their crotch. Very similar here, the slice of pizza over his kids.
Yeah, if anybody don't know about Pizzagate, I suggest you do thorough research on it.
And he was everything. Hallelujah, as he's licking or biting pizza. Get Bieber here doing the 666 hand symbolism, just like Messi, just like them all. Were they all fans of John? I mean, where's the tie-in here unless you actually are awake to signs and symbols and the occult? Right, here he is doing it with the serpent's tongue as well, 666. We see the other guys doing the 666, the hand over the eye, right? And of course, just like Messi, what does he have? Oh, a giant tattoo of an eyeball. Is that how he got the gig? What are the odds, right? You might talk about the odds of the bathtub, right, with the two players. Well, of course, those odds are astronomical.
That is kind of like not so coincidental.
Because it shows you that everything is rigged, that those two would be playing in the World Cup final all these years later. Well, how about this? This guy's got a tattoo of an eye, Justin Bieber, right on his arm, and so does Messi. Well, is that organic? Is that just coincidental? Are they going to sit and talk about it before the game? Maybe they'll meet and be like, hey, you have a tattoo of an eye. I have a tattoo of an eye. Hey, there's pictures of you holding your hand up over your eye. There's pictures of me. Whoa, what are the odds? We both failed optometry school, and look at us now. We're worth millions upon millions of dollars, and we're famous, right? Oh, because they're in the club, right? They both have the tattoo, the same exact one of one eye. Not two, by the way. Nobody seems to like two eyes, right? Somebody might say, well, they like eyes. Eyes are beautiful. I like eyes. I like staring into the eyes of a beautiful woman, right? Oh, well, it's
Okay, now it's getting concerning.
just one eye. It's not two eyes. It's always just one eye. Just like they always hold up a hand over one eye. And it's like there's only one eye on the back of the dollar bill. On top of this, with the tattoo of the all-seeing eye, Bieber constantly posing with goats, just like Messi, right? Nobody's saying Justin Bieber's the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Nobody can even name a song that Justin Bieber has. And if you can, you probably can't name two. Justin Bieber with a goat in his home singing, right? Just normal stuff that they're normalizing, and Bieber, just like the other two and all the other celebrities, doing the initiation in the bathtub and then putting it on public display, right? Because that's what you think about. You're like, I'm going to take a picture for Instagram. Let me take a picture of myself in a bathtub. Let me do it in a photo shoot on a magazine, right? All of them showing you, just like those images from Freemasonry, that they're in the club. And here he is again, once again, doing the all-seeing eye symbols, holding meat over his eye, even showing he's in the Black Eye Club as well. Another thing that we need to talk about is during one of these games, when a goal was scored, they showed Messi on the screen. And a lot of people noticed this. This is supposed to be the flag, ladies and gentlemen. The flag for what? Well, it's supposed to be the flag of the country that he plays for, which is who? Well, the country he plays for is Argentina, right? Well, watch as they zoom in here on the screen and take a look at the flag. Keep in mind, the flag is supposed to be those colors with a sun in the middle. Does that look like a sun?
No way they actually found something like this. Like, how do you even find something like that? That's crazy. That doesn't look like the sun at all.
So does that look like a sun in the middle?
It looks like the symbol of Freemasonry, or it looks like some kind of goat.
No, it doesn't. What does it look like? See, here's the logo. Okay, the sun. Yes, we can go into sun worship and all the other stuff, but we'll refrain for those who are not awake to make this as simple as possible. Look, the sun is in the flag and the logo. That is not the sun. Zoomed in. It's not even a blurry thing.
100%. That looks like the symbol of Freemason. I told you guys.
The sun is just not a high quality photo. It's a compass right in front of you as they show Messi. They deliberately did that during a game. You could see the Freemasonic compass showing you this entire thing is rigged.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It's planned. It's staged. You might not want to believe it, but I'll show you how it is and how easy it is to rig sports and why they do it and what the purpose is, okay? Because this goes back to Rome. It's been going on for a long, long time, and it's hard for people to separate.
Bread and circus. If you give the mass bread and circus, they'll never vault. Voltaire said this.
Including myself in the beginning of my awakening process from thinking sports are rigged and fake and what the real purpose of them are. Because I grew up enjoying playing sports. And it doesn't mean if you go outside and you shoot a
Same thing with the NFL. Same thing with the, all the sports, like, it's just bread and circus.
basketball that you're a Satanist or an occultist, okay? I'm talking about getting entrenched in sports, rooting for teams, obsessing over it, okay? It's a hard thing to separate from for many, many out there. But let's go back to the Illuminati card game for a second here. Because even the Illuminati card game has the World Cup victory. And look at this right here. This is in the Illuminati card game. The colors of the two teams. Let's start. Blue. The other one is red and black, right? Well, interesting. Argentina, blue. The other players wearing red. Okay, looks pretty straightforward here that this was predicted for a while. You might say, well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, if you look at a world stage, what's going on right now, Argentina and Spain playing in the World Cup, becoming a proxy for the Israel-Palestinian conflict. What's to come after this? They're hearing things with Netanyahu and Spain. There's lots of stuff surrounding all of this stuff. And this is from...
Yeah, Messi gets the ball. That's why, like, area population, like, anyone who's against Messi, someone who's against Palestine, also because Messi is kissing the wall. And he had done this ritual as part of this. And Netanyahu called him, like, his favorite player. Like, that's kind of crazy also.
30 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, the Illuminati card game. Don't forget, this card game came out before events like September 11th occurred, where, look, there's a card in the game, terrorist nuke, the Twin Towers going down, or the Pentagon. It's a game filled with predictive programming of things that have occurred since that time. things like weather modification, geoengineering, all of it in these games, the conflicts that have occurred, the social unrest that they've created, all of it in the card game. And they have
It's kind of like a game the elites play, but the consequences affect our own reality. Like, consequences affect, like, the normal human beings' lives. Like, they're playing with their own lives. Makes sense?
this World Cup card. And from there, you can look at some other bizarre connections, right? Here's this image of Messi that says 666. Apparently, this was a huge deal. Lionel Messi achieved the milestone of 666 matches. They made a big deal because he played in 666 matches, and he did it
Oh my god, no way, bro. They're trying to push this shit. Messi's 100% initiated. Like, 100%, like...
February 2nd, 2019. There's that number 19 again. And who did he do it against? Well, he did it for Barcelona, where he scored 581 goals and probably 233 assists. And he did it for Barcelona. And who was a member of the team on Barcelona? Well, Yamal was a member of that team. Well, at the time in 2019, he was only 11, but he was signed to the actual club. So there's a connection there with 666. And again, back to that numerology with the number 19. That picture was taken 19 years ago. They both wore the number 19. They're playing on July the 19th. The image of the goat and the kid is number 10 and number 19 because Messi changed his number to number 10. And the 19th degree in Freemasonry is very symbolic to achieving celestial or metaphysical transformation. And it even says that it draws heavily from the book of Revelation, emphasizing the New Jerusalem as a symbol of divine order, harmony, and the triumph of light over darkness. But remember, this is an inversion. They believe in inversion. They read the Bible backwards. They believe that Lucifer is the god of this world, and everything they're trying to achieve is going
That is true.
against God and what God's rules are and God's order is. So the number 19 is used as well as a meaningful number, as a gateway to the philosophical degrees in the Scottish rite of Freemasonry. So all of this stuff you see with sports, with the bathtub, and also it goes back to Rome. It goes back to bread and circus. Remember, Donald Trump and all the references to Rome and the new golden age. So all goes back to actual Rome and the things that they're trying to do now, and all these references to Rome from him and Elon Musk, which again, I've covered in detail on the website. Those videos are available. I highly recommend for $2.99 a month. You join the website. I have thousands of videos over there. You can spend months going through them and educating yourself on these things. But bread and circuses is what sports are in today's world. You go, what is the point of that? No, sports are fun. We all love sports, okay? The purpose of the bread and circus in the Roman days was social control and the preservation of political power. By providing free food and grand public entertainment, Roman rulers deliberately placated, distracted, and neutralized an impoverished, volatile urban population to prevent political unrest and rebellion.
Yes, and they've been doing the same strategy used by the Romans and Roman civilization and empire and the political class since day one. If you keep the masses fed up, if you keep the masses giving free food, free shit, they will never revolt, bro. Like, they will never revolt. Keep giving on masses freebies, but keep fucking them over. Like, they will never revolt.
Riots and social unrest. So the purpose of these, feeding a...
And you can easily deceive, the working class. If you give them freebies, like, you can actually deceive them. But you're actually fucking them up at a higher level. Like, people get so deceived so easily. They will never revolt.
Volatile population, giving them something for free, right? Saying, oh, you can get some free food. But then the aggression part. Ventilating aggression, okay? These mass spectacles like gladiator battles at the Coliseum is no different than sports today. It's used to get your aggression out, targeting your aggression in the wrong places instead of the people uniting, stopping this political corruption that we see going on both sides, right? People waking up and realizing both sides are working together to cause all this division, to cause all this depression, to cause all this anger, to cause all of these problems, to take all the money you make, at least 50% of it, and then never use it for anything for good other than their own good, which really all that money goes to are all the underground tunnels and cities underneath our feet that you'll never know even exist in the first place. But you take the aggression out that you could be taking out on overthrowing government, which is something that we have the actual right to do in the Constitution, if you still believe the Constitution exists or is in place. But instead of those things, they're thinking in a way of we need to make change. We need to do something. It doesn't need to be violent. It doesn't need to be violent at all, but people could unite together and say, you're the ones causing all this bad stuff. You're the ones causing all these distractions. You're the ones who are doing this to us, not us doing it to each other. You're making us think this way about our neighbor, about somebody who votes differently. You're doing it through propaganda. So they don't want you to wake up to that. So they use things like sports. And that's what they did in Rome. That was the point of bread and circus. And look how people respond. Look at the craze that we see in sports, right? Rushing the field. Look at the aggression, the care that they have, more care in a team because they think they're a part of a team, right? I'm on the team, so I'm going to wear their colors and I'm going to rush the field. And all my...
Yeah, this is also the criticism of, people who watch World Cup. Like, I only watch the final, bro. I'm not, like, an avid soccer fan, but crazy that people who, like, who are broke, who's watching multi-millionaires play against each other and making multi-million dollars, while they themselves are broke, they themselves, like, are getting fucked up with the government, have to pay taxes, and people actually watching this, investing there's so much time. Like, if you analyze how much time you actually wasted in something that you don't actually are interested in or you don't actually play in, you'll find how much time you actually wasted it, and they're so super invested in something that they don't even actually play. If you're actually playing football and if you're watching football, that makes sense. You can actually learn about strategies and shit, but if you actually never touch the football, you're watching football, like, being this part of this herd mentality, like, amount of time you actually waste on carrying something that doesn't even benefit you, doesn't even care about you, and these players, like, they don't even care about you, they just want to make money also. Like, it's good thing to be vehemently nationalistic, but also good thing to also know how much time you actually wasted in caring about something you don't actually care about. And this is the same thing with bread and circles. They're trying to keep the masses like entertained, so they don't even know what the fuck is actually going on. It makes your mind and so unconscious, like how much years actually pass by. You're living unconscious, and when you wake up, oh, now my life sucks. Like, how much time you actually put towards entertainment and all those kinds of shit. Like, it's crazy.
I'm going to take on that. It's going to be wonderful. And I'm going to remain distracted by distracting myself from what's really going on and actually giving myself a wonderful life in this world that God granted all of us the ability to have. But because we're so distracted, we don't pay attention to these things. They continue to...
Yeah, it is the biggest form of distraction, entertainment, and social media in general.
Take control of all the resources, the food, everything else, and poison us on a day in, day out basis. And then you look at politics. It's no different than sports, right? The left and the right. Political differences, people hating one another over who they vote for. And then you say, well, this is what everyone's got their head in, right? If you're not obsessing over sports or a team, most people are involved in politics. And then look how popular politics are now versus 20, 30 years ago. People are sitting listening to podcasters talking about, oh, the Dems, the libs, oh, the other way, all these psychopaths, MAGA, white trash, back and forth, seesaw, massive distraction. Meanwhile, all the politicians, Obama, Trump, they're all friends with each other. They don't even hide it anymore. When they show up and see each other, they just go in front of a microphone and go, oh, that guy's a crazy lib. We need to go impeach him. And then they're at funerals or other places in public, smiling, shaking hands. They go, oh, they got to do it there in front of a camera, right? They're working you. Meanwhile, while everyone's distracted with these things like the World Cup, they're rolling out things like digital IDs. We saw everything they just did to us with COVID. You would have thought an uprising could potentially occur when your government's trying to give you poison for free and bribing you to go and take a shot, telling you if you take the shot, you'll be immune, then telling you need to go and get one every 6 months, telling you can't have a job, doing all these things. Meanwhile, the people who fell for it, most of them are no longer here to tell a story because most of them are actually dead. You look at stuff going on now in America, right? All the stories I read about.
Whoa. We can't show that on here.
Again, the yearly annual fire going on.
We can't talk about the jib jab.
Oh, a fire in Canada. So apparently all of America is under a massive chem dust, right? But really, we could see smart dust because that's really what's involved in this, and the air quality pollution from them poisoning us in the skies, right? You see the 5G towers, right? You know, nobody has questions about that. These are the things that people are distracted from paying attention to because of things.
Oh my God, the conspiracy of the 5G towers. We'll talk about that next time.
Like sports and other distractions, right? The constant chemtrailing, HARP, geoengineering, weather modification, or even just the voice-to-skull technology and the things Elon Musk is implementing, even though it's not his creation. This is a government DARPA creation being presented to you as some type of a miracle technology.
Yep.
That's being released because if you knew the government was behind it, you would never get on board with any of it. And that's the purpose sports provides. But even on top of that, sports themselves are completely rigged, which is why they've made sports gambling legal. Used to be illegal. Now everybody's betting on everything, right? Another way.
That's crazy. That's 100% like true. Like, sports gambling should be illegal. Used to be illegal. Now everyone, their mom is actually kind of doing it. Like, what the fuck?
Of course, to make people go completely broke. They don't need to just crash the stock market because a lot of people aren't even in the stock market. But you know what a lot of kids do?
Yeah, they're in the sports gambling.
They take their salary, their $100, and then they get addicted because gambling is pretty much one of the worst addictions on earth that never gets talked about. And you see all the celebrities promoting it, all the athletes, right? No shame whatsoever, right? So you might as well have commercials promoting fentanyl, promoting gambling. Hey, you can gamble. All these kids are just getting addicted to gambling. It's an addiction that never stops because you never accumulate enough. You hit a bet, you want to hit another bet, want to hit 1,000 bet. Because house always wins. That's what the lines are there for. They're rigged against you, right? So you see people betting.
100%. The house always wins. Like, if the house didn't always win, they won't even give you an opportunity to gamble
on coin tosses and who's going to hit a home run in the first inning, who's going to hit is somebody going to kick the soccer ball in the stands, let's risk 100, and they go broke that way, right? And they never think themselves, oh, sports are rigged. But now that people are starting to gamble more and more, they're going, it is rigged, but they don't want to believe it in their head, so they continually bet it. But they tell you now in plain sight how rigged it is, because they're even telling you that the World Cup ball is an AI rigged ball. The ball decides.
This is one of the biggest conspiracy ever.
These are images that they put out there. This is inside the ball, right? So you don't think they could remote control a soccer ball? Look at the stuff that they can remote control. You're seeing it on your screen. It's an image of a soccer
ball. If they wanted to, they 100% actually can remote control a ball.
That's being remote controlled, right? Oh, so when you go, well, how could sports be rigged? That means everybody's in on it. Everybody's rigging the game. How about just the things used in the game, like the football, the basketball, the soccer ball? You don't think that they could put something in it, magnetize the rim and put the technology in the basketball to make the ball go in the hoop, and these games that end in miracle last chance shots or 25-point comebacks or the way they bend the soccer ball, right? Here they are openly admitting, talking about how this, well, we got this tech in the ball, and this is just to monitor where the ball actually goes, right? It will never in a million years will you believe it will actually control where the ball goes. Because
yeah, a monitor where the ball actually goes. Like, are we supposed to believe that?
Nobody wants to believe it because they love these things. They love their sports and teams. And then they go, well, if I believe that the sport is rigged, then what do I have left? Well, you're not supposed to live this way, being obsessed with these things.
Yeah, it's also like an identity, or it's an attack on identity. Like, people are so attached to sports and identity on some kind of sports. If they actually find out it's rigged, like, it's complete destruction of their identity and ideology, like that stuff. And people can never let go of their identity or your ideology because that's an attack on identity. Like, that's why people are so adamant when you say something's actually false, something's actually fake. They will actually fight you for it. Like, people's identity 100% ingrained into their mind. Like, that's crazy.
What you have left is, hey, maybe humanity can unite. We could all have better lives if we stop letting these psychopaths control our lives.
100%.
With government overreach and the things they tax us on and the things they take from us and then the things they try to force into your body like nanotech COVID shots, right? Really are talking about the soccer ball.
The FIFA World Cup, football's ultimate prize. A football tournament that has been defined by generations since 1930. But putting the ball in the back of the net isn't just about skill and ability. There's now technology monitoring every kick of the game.
And we're better to see behind the scenes than FIFA's global headquarters in Zurich. The man in charge of FIFA's research team is Nicholas Evans. He's been paying close attention to the one thing every match needs, the football. Meet the Trianda ball.
So this looks like a simple, normal football, but what's different?
So it is a normal football, but this one has a sensor inside, which is placed opposite the valve. And in the
oh no, bro.
list of terms, it can tell us what the ball is doing in a 3D space.
At a match, there will be between 15 and 20 of these smart balls ready and charged, with each one lasting 6 hours if being used in...
If they put a sensor, but they can't actually move the ball, like, they can actually do that too. Like, if they're putting something inside the ball, they have the technology to actually make this ball move according to whatever they actually want. What if they can actually change the trajectory of a ball while it is in midair and make a goal happen, like, and they can collectively rig the game itself, not even the players being aware of it, and also also be beneficial to sports gambling and the people who control this 100% knows who's going to win the team, and they can effectively gamble on that fact. Like, that's crazy.
Play.
You can even see the faintest of touches here. Obviously, if you bounce the ball, you'll see much bigger touch. This just gives you an idea of the sensitivity of the ball, often the time.
That's not all the ball does. Like, you can actually put a remote control on it.
The images won't be clear enough or will be very difficult to determine whether a player's touched the balls. This is very clear.
So again, from there, we can even go into things like athletes and eugenics. I talked about the eugenics experiments. The real thing that they should be talking about with Epstein is eugenics and all of these tech companies, which are really DARPA companies, tentacles of DARPA, and all these guys are really government assets like Elon Musk, who have, were meeting with Epstein. Nobody pays attention to their obsession with eugenics and creating a human hybrid race. But these athletes are a part of the eugenics experiment. That's why you see these guys like LeBron James. They do the same stuff, the 666, all of it, right? All the Illuminati occult.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what Yamal is actually propped up in an actually industrial plant, and they do this with all the actors itself. It wouldn't shock me that Yamal is actually some kind of industry plant that's been bred to play football. Like, it wouldn't even shock me, the fact.
Symbolism. And then you look at him, you're like, how are their arms like twice as long as, there's videos are like, hey, he's got arms like what we would believe, he's like a pterodactyl if you believe dinosaurs are real or not. It's another story. But you look at these and you're like, oh, he's got good genes. Oh, it's because it's gene editing. They've been
100% gene editing and eugenics are actually real. Like, and they've been doing this shit for a while. Like, orchestrating and completely, like, planning the birth of a child with some physical features on it. Basically, some kind of like a human experimentation.
Using eugenics for a long, long time. For those of you that don't know about eugenics, well, you start thinking about that in terms of some of these athletes that they've convinced you are better than you at these sports and then because they grew bigger than you and you're too short, but you could still try to make it to the NBA. Right? Eugenics has been going on around us for a long, long time, and it's the end game for them. Using eugenics on all of us to create a hybrid race, which is why they want to get this tech underneath your skin. But again, here's just a quick clip about eugenics. For anyone out there that goes,
yeah, so it makes me remind about Nietzsche's philosophy of the Ubermensch, the perfect ideal human. Like, they're trying to make that shit an ideal human. The superhuman category.
Sports can't be rigged. What's the connection between these guys? How do they choose these guys to become big and famous? And how come they look so much, you're convinced by seeing Messi, oh, he's really a great athlete because you can't play soccer the way it looks like on TV. He plays soccer. Well, these people are all part of the eugenics experiments, and same as Yamal, right?
They embraced a new pseudoscience born in Britain.
I don't think they're effectively part of the eugenics experiment, but I think they're bred up, to actually play a sport of soccer. If you dedicate so much time into it, you can actually be good at it. I think they're actually bred up and given opportunities from the birth itself. Like, it's not something it's like an experiment they're actually created, but I think that's actually bred up to actually play a sport and be good at it. If you spend too much hours on something, you actually gotta go at it. That's what I think. I don't think it's like an experiment they cultivated to make something like being good at some sport. I think they gave them the opportunities, and their growth is astroturfed. Their growth is not organic at all.
Called eugenics, which falsely claimed, with no evidence, that everything from poverty to prostitution, disabilities to what they called feeble-mindedness, could be eliminated if the individuals they dismissed as socially defective could be stopped from reproducing.
Yeah, this has been going around for many centuries. Like, this ideology of feebleness when other undesirable qualities removed from having offspring, so they can effectively cancel out those people from ever breeding, and it can actually like cancel out those people from effectively having progeny and in civilization. This is the same thing with Nietzsche's ideology, like creation of superhumans, like, and this has been the same viewpoint for many, like Greek and ideology. It comes from ancient Europe also. This ideology, like outbreeding undesirable qualities.
I wish very much that the wrong people could be prevented entirely from breeding. And when the evil nature of these people is sufficiently flagrant, this should be done. Criminals should be sterilized, and feeble-minded persons forbidden to leave offspring behind them. Theodore Roosevelt.
The idea was that the bad people have to stop reproducing, and the good people need to reproduce more. Negative eugenics says sterilize the wrong people, snuff them out. And that's the eugenics that the Nazis would pick up on.
Colleges and universities taught eugenics. Medical societies confirmed it. Clergymen preached it. John D. Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie funded it. And some of the most prominent people in America championed it. Margaret Sanger, Alexander Graham Bell, even Helen Keller.
It seems to me that the simplest, wisest thing to do would be to submit cases like that of the malformed idiot baby to a jury of expert physicians. If the evidence were presented openly and the decisions made public before the death of the child, there would be little danger of mistakes or abuses. We must decide between a fine humanity and a cowardly sentimentalism.
33 of the 48 states would eventually enact eugenics laws mandating the forced sterilization of wards of the state deemed physically or mentally unfit. People in prisons, hospitals, and asylums. More than 60,000 Americans would be sterilized without their consent.
So eugenics, rigging of sports, bred in circuses, so to speak, but massive ritual. And this is how it gets, it blows up right in front of our faces, where you could actually see this because people saw the actual picture and they said, that's really weird. That's not coincidental. This happened 19 years ago. They both, war number 19.
Yeah.
One guy was 19. They're playing on July 19th.
You could never call this a coincidence, bro.
Right? In 2019, this guy scored 660 goals. A lot of things with the numerology. People are going, okay, but then it's like, well, how do you wrap your head around, okay, everything's rigged. How do they predetermine stuff? And that's what I'm trying to break down here. Okay? That the reality we live in is a scripted simulation. When you hear that stuff, you're supposed to dismiss it and go, simulation? Like what's happening in front of me is not real? No. The stuff you see on the news is scripted. The stuff you see in movies is actually the truth being revealed to you. The stuff that they're really doing and the technology they're really implementing and normalizing and what the future
100%
looks like with robots, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All these things that they're doing that nobody's paying attention to, right? So people notice the bathtub and everyone's like, oh my goodness, that is really weird. So it's picked up on CNN, all the late night talk shows talking about it, all of the fringe fake conspiracy theory channels. Oh, that is pretty strange, right? And they'll make everybody just go, it is pretty strange. And that's it. They'll just leave
Tom Brady's also in part of this shit, bro. Like he's also part of the initiate.
it there. Instead of going, well, let's look at Freemasonry and the occult and all these images of them in the bathtub, all taking baptisms in the tub, how it's prominent in Freemasonry, because they never talk about Freemasonry. Right? And people get on me, they're like, well, Freemasonry's not the top. You got to talk more about Israel and the Vatican. I talk about all of them. But Freemasonry's important if you want to see other in control on a township level where you live, okay? They might get their orders from Israel and from the Vatican, but on a township level, here's how they're implementing all of these creepy ideologies in your school, right? By letting transgenders into your school. How do you think all this stuff happens? You just wake up one day and someone's like, oh, there's a trans reading a library of stories at our school today. Well, who do you think allows it? And where did they get the orders from? And how did it spread across the nation like a virus? Oh, from the top down to the bottom, which is Freemasonry. And they're all initiated in Freemasonry, right? So you see them do the blood thing, the bathtub thing, and you go, it's really creepy. Yeah, it is creepy, right? His hand is in there. They don't know one another. And all the innuendos, he got the all-seeing eye tattoo on his arm. Just like Bieber's playing the halftime show. Sure, it's another coincidence. Holding shoes up and all these things over his eyes. 666. Hand sign with Yamal. There's no such thing as coincidences, ladies and gentlemen. It's all rigged. It's all staged. It's all predetermined, just like the news is predetermined. I talked about Albert Pike and his world wars, right? World War III, pre-scripted.
Yeah, that's a famous letter from Albert Pike. And his letter shows the Third World War between the state of Zionist Israel and the Arabic state itself, and they will mutually destroy each other. And a new synthesis, like a Hegelian dialectic, that new synthesis will be formed. That destruction will be so massive, like a new order will be formed from it. And under the guise of peace and under the guise of new laws, so that wars don't happen. That will be the new world order. Like, this was effectively this is not even a confirmed letter from Albert Pike. Like, a lot of people say it's a fake letter, but I would like to believe it's true.
Time ago, okay, talking decades ago, centuries, they've had this whole thing mapped out, how each war is going to go and how it's going to play out for the public and what the public's how they're going to respond to it, what they could do from it. Right, problem, reaction, solution, the conflicts they create. Just like when they were trying and planning for years to blow up the Twin Towers, to bring in the Patriot Act, to take away our...
Yeah, every conflict in war is actually created and orchestrated. Like, only the, the people at the bottom, the soldiers and the innocent civilians, they're the ones who actually pay the price.
Rights, our privacy rights, because they wanted to start, they were normalizing tech at the time and want to get this stuff into our home. All predetermined, right? Just like awards are predetermined. You watch them act out. They tell you ahead of time. Albert Pike did exactly how it was going to go, and my videos on that are available on the website. All the way down to sports being predetermined, showing you in Illuminati card games, the two teams playing one another, to the buildup of the GOAT versus the kid with all the Baphomet occult tie-ins as well, folks. They might tell you it's a secret with their finger over their lip, but they're losing a grasp on their secret. The problem is that a lot of the people who are trying to expose these types of things aren't really trying to expose it. You'll hear some people are like, oh yeah, I heard about them in the bathtub, but they're getting their information from controlled media, like the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro and these frauds that pretend to be here for truth. But if you understand signs and symbols in the occult, they don't want you to understand that. If you understand, your brain starts waking up. You peel layers back and you say, there's no lying about it. You're all seeing it. Look at them all doing it. They're all doing it. You start saying, yeah, there is something to it. All these guys.
Understanding signs and symbols is the first prerequisite to actually for the awakening. Like your mind awakens when you see signs and symbols.
Guys are a part of something. Okay, this whole the Illuminati, it's all make believe.
What's the famous quote? I actually forgot. Like,
right? That's what they want you to think. So they'll touch on conspiracy, these guys, and then they'll go, oh, but the signs and the symbols, like Roseanne, right? Oh, and doing the hand over there. They tell us to do that. We take pictures, so we just do it, like sheeple, right? Yeah, sure. They're all in the club. Their job is to socially engineer you, keep you distracted from ever waking up to the reality of the hell that they're building and creating around us and doing to us on a day in, day out basis. They want you to believe the political parties are divided, not united, but they're united. They work together. They keep you divided in the left and the right.
100%.
That's why you hear the Daily Wire and these people talk about that, because not just because they make money off of it, that's nothing to them. They print money, like the Federal Reserve. These people are just handed money. Money shows up in their bank account. Their job is to keep us divided from uniting and waking up to what's really going on. And it goes all the way down to something as simple as a World Cup, where they show you their rituals in front of you, their grooming rituals. I mean, it's as demonic as it gets, right? And sick as it gets. But you're supposed to believe all that stuff is a coincidence. Soccer's not rigged. Sports can't be rigged. They normalize sports gambling. They tell you that there's a chip in the ball. Oh boy, they brag about eugenics and creating these freak athletes and these, human beings that created in petri dishes. They've normalized that with IVF and everything else. Ladies and gentlemen, you're living in a false reality.
Maybe it's true. Like maybe I'm coping. Like they actually build people actually using gene editing on a petri dish. Maybe that's actually true.
If you don't wake up to what's really happening in front of you, which is a massive simulation, these things are all predetermined. And they don't hide it from you. They just deceive you by revealing these things, which is part of universal law, and then deceiving you into thinking that it's merely a coincidence and training you to dismiss channels like this, people like me, because it's too much to take in and grasp. So you'll just go back to doing your day-to-day life and go, yeah, that's too much. I got to focus on mowing my lawn on a Saturday and cutting my grass. Instead of going, what is even the purpose of this? I've been told I got to cut my grass. I'm a man in my 40s and I got kids. I got to go out there and manufacture my beds and my lawn and make it look like cookie cutter America. You don't even question that. What the purpose is. No purpose at all. Just constant waste of time, distraction until you die as they continue to build out this new world order right in front of our faces. Folks, if you haven't joined the website yet, I recommend you do. callforanuprising.com. I don't know how much longer I'll be doing this. I'm running, there's no ink.
Okay, so let's just watch this. I tell you, if they can change the trajectory of a ball mid-air, like that's pretty much rigged. That's crazy.
Yes. Whoop. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
What's up with that? Ball never actually moves a bit. Is it AI? Like, ball never moves like that. I play football in my life, and I've never seen a ball actually like retrograde and move backwards. If it's actually proper forward. It is crazy, bruh. Yeah, it's crazy. So do I think final verdict on if that thing is actually scripted? Well, I like to reveal to Messi, among all those people, like Messi is 100% initiated into some kind of cabal order. Like, you see the humiliation which will actually happen to him. But Yamal maybe like he maybe build up a bread to being part of a sport, but I don't think the game itself is kind of like rigged. No, I mean the actors itself are not, the players itself are not aware of being rigged. Maybe the ball moves on its own, but I don't think like the game itself, because the last night's finals were so tremendously like boring. I'm not saying that's emotional boring. So we are considering they could actually make that interesting. I'm not saying that's like an appeal. That's an appeal to emotionality, but it may be actually be rigged. But the final verdict, I don't think the players are aware of it being rigged itself. Like that's one thing. I don't think the players are aware. except the high paid athletes like Messi who's into this initiation. Maybe they're aware of it, but I don't think the other players are actually aware of it like that. And it's kind of crazy. What can you do? Like, this kind of technology actually existed, and they can actually effectively control the result of any game whatsoever. So that's about it. Peace out. What do you guys think? Do you think this shit's rigged? I believe so. On some level, it's kind of rigged, not entirely. Like, the players aren't even entirely aware of it, like it being rigged. So that's about it. Yeah, I take back everything I said. I think this is whole scripted. Like, this is 100% scripted. Like, and 2026 World Cup was scripted in the children's book that was released well before this game took place. Number 7 scored a goal for Spain during the World Cup. Number 7 won the game, and number 7 is coincidentally Torres. And this storybook, people actually read. Bruh, it's crazy. The storybook has a result, like, the book got the scoring, but Ramba 2, the number that would score the winning point, and number of the goalie. Maybe the book was intentional, that was the goal they had to go by, but something went wrong. But the number 7 actually scored the goal, like, and in the book, number 7 was actually the one scoring the goal, and number 7 is Torres. This is like a children's storybook just before the game actually happened. Like, this shit's 100% fake as fucking rigged. Like, I take back everything I said. Like, giving the benefit of the doubt to players.
1-0, and you really could not have scripted things any better as Yamal's team overtakes Messi's team. I mean, this was definitely a scripted game, just like the entire World Cup has been. All of this World Cup has been scripted. All of these sporting events are as fake as the WWE. And the fact that Messi had no goals whatsoever. I mean, come on, you all. This is truly laughable stuff. This is...
Well, that doesn't mean, like, it's fake. Like,
World Cup game is clearly rigged. Because
yeah, this is a foul. They call this actually a foul. That's crazy.
A foul called on Spain.
If something doesn't go along the script, they'll make it go along to that script.
They called this a foul on Spain when Spain scored the goal. And they called this a foul. I mean, come on. You really can't make things up. All of these sports leagues are absolutely scripted.
The children's book shit's one that makes me like, oh, Bob, bro, like, it's crazy. Like, Ignis closing ceremony. There's Lucifer, Statue of Liberty, Lucifer, like, so crazy, like, the symbolism. I 100% agree that, the people who's orchestrating this festivals are some kind of a demonic agenda to push, but I don't believe that the play itself was like some kind of like... The children's book released months ago shows Argentina and Spain's final set 2026 World Cup. All sports fake as WWE. And this is 19 Lamar, and bruh, it's fake as fuck. And number 7's one actually scores. Like, this is fake as fuck. And number 7 scores in the overtime in the last 30. Like, that's fucking fake as shit. It's just rigged as fuck. Like, my god, bro, like, it's crazy. And the author of the book's name is like a Lamil Yamal. It's a play on Yamal's. It's a play on his name. It's crazy, bro. Like, yeah, take a look at this.
Can somebody explain to me, how did this lady just find a book of Spain winning the World Cup? Now, I'm not sure how true this is, but this is absolutely wow, guys. Look at the book. It's showing that Spain is going to win the World Cup, allegedly. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but according to this book that lady found, and I don't know who that lady is and where she got
this is like a children's book
from, but she looks like she's at a bookstore.
This was maybe the intended score, and Torres was supposed to be the one, and This one for someone else.
Something is going on here, guys, and I'm telling you right now, like I've been telling you before, it's scripted. It is what it is.
And number 7 scores the goal. Like, come on, bro. That has to be the most scripted shit.
How is that possible, guys? Seriously, like I'm really asking a question. How is that possible? What year was that book written? Something is going on here.
The book was written like months before, and the reason was that foul was called off. It's because it gave an opportunity for Argentina to strike maybe one more was intended score.
Guys, and that book is supposedly showing that Spain is going to win the World Cup. I don't know who put that book out. I don't know if that book was trying to tell us something. I don't know if that book was made recently, but something is going on here, guys. And obviously, I never know what it is. That's why I asked you guys. Come on now, this is wild. Could it be that Spain will win the World Cup?
Yeah, this before. Bruh. No way, bruh.
Hemos encontrado un libro, España, Argentina. Me llama el Cucurella. En el minuto 15. Luego golazo en el minuto 88. Y luego marca España. Gol. Gana España.
Bruh. Fake as fuck. 100% script.